How's it going, YouTube? Links Forte bringing you Team Building 103. If you guys missed Team Building 101 and 102, there'll be a playlist linked in the description. Team Building 101 was basically the construction of the team. Team Building 102 was testing the team. In Team Building 102, I think I only did like 4, maybe 5 battles. That's really not enough to test a team. You know, you have to continue to play with it. And if you're looking to test on Pokemon Showdown, I would suggest being rated about 1200 plus to get a good feel for your team. Because usually at the bottom of the ladder, it's people who are team building or testing out their teams, but you can't really get a feel for your own team, you know, against people who are team building, testing, whatever you want to call it. With that in mind, you know, you want to typically have a good number of battles. In my personal opinion, somewhere between 15 and 20 battles is a good representation of a test, because that way, you know, you're seeing more Pokemon. I think in that last video, we only saw like maybe one unique team. The other teams were pretty much the same. I don't really remember, but I did test this team a little bit more, and I started to find weaknesses. I'm not a person who sees a weakness immediately when I'm building a team. Like I said, I need to test it, and that's why I say you test your team. So I'm pretty sure, you know, some of the more experienced players, they saw a weakness in the team. And a weakness I usually see immediately that I didn't see was that there was no fairy type. Now, I'm not saying a fairy type Pokemon is necessary, but in the meta that we are currently in, this is still Oraz, not Sun and Moon, but in the meta that we're currently in, it's a really good idea to have a fairy, because there are Pokemon, you know, that fairies do not like. And the Pokemon that I ran into that walled this team or destroyed this team basically was Mega Sableye. So the minute I saw it, I was thinking, okay, I gotta look for a fairy, but who do I get rid of? And I kind of looked at Latias and figured I didn't need Latias. So, but at the same time, I still wanted to have a Pokemon that could remove hazards. And so, you know, this Latias set wasn't working anyway. I didn't like it. It was just something, you know, I wanted to try out. I don't like this set, so don't kill me for that. Although, you know, by the time this video goes up, you guys will probably have killed me in the first video. But you know, I can look at my fairies. Azumarill, let's see, Clefable's here. Can't use Mega Gardevoir because we already have our Mega. Klefki is not really a fairy that's an attacking fairy. Who else do we have here? So that's it. You know, then we continue to drop down. See, Togekiss is there, which, you know, that would give us our Defogger as well, but the thing is, Togekiss itself is weak to Stealth Rocks, and that's not something I want to use as my Defogger. So I continue to look, you know, for my fairy, and then we get to UU. So then we have a few more options. We have Florges here, we have regular Gardevoir, we have, where is it? We have Sylveon is here. And then we have Whimsicott. So, looking at my options, you know, I'm really saying, okay, so it's either Clefable, Florges, or Sylveon. I am extremely biased when it comes to my fairy. I love only one Pokemon. Well, I have a few fairies that I like, but the number one in my heart is Sylveon. And that's what I decided that I was going to add to my team. And I figured I wanted to do something similar to what I had with Latias. So I do want to do Calm Mind, and Hyper Voice is always the move that you use. And then I want to have the Wish support. I almost typed in support. I want to have the Wish support, and I also want to have my Cleric. So as I said in the Team Building 101, you kind of want to have a Cleric on a team. Depends on your team though. If you know, if status moves don't seem like it's a huge problem to you, then you don't necessarily need a Cleric. But majority of the time, it's a good idea to have a Cleric. It just depends on the type of team that you have built. So I wanted to have a Cleric on this team, and I'm going to make it physically defensive. max HP. Now the EVs I tend to play around with. I'm sorry, yes. I actually want this to do 248 because I want that odd number here. And then I'm going to put the leftover EVs into my special attack. That way I'm hitting just slightly harder with my hyper voice. Now I'm still looking at this team and I'm thinking I really need hazard support. I need hazard removal support. You know, Sylveon, it's a Pokemon that's going to come in and out a lot just to support this team. But I need something else. Excadrill is still a problem for this team. Even Landorus. If Excadrill is offensive, if Excadrill is offensive, it's gonna hit Landorus hard with the Iron Head since it's not defensive. If it's in the sand, Bisharp loses, Keldeo loses, Mega Manectric loses. Hippowdon is a good Pokemon for it, but like I said, I need the hazard support. So the Pokemon I'm thinking about, you know, it has access to Rapid Spin, it has access to Stealth Rock. So there's 2 Pokemon that come into my, or 3 Pokemon, I'm sorry. Excadrill itself, Fortress, or Donphan. I don't want to have Excadrill on this team because personally I don't like support Excadrill, which is basically Mold Breaker, HP, and Spadef investment. I don't really like that set. So there's some people who will say, oh, just run Excadrill with a Scarf and give it Stealth Rocks. I don't like the idea of running Scarf Excadrill with Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin. I like Scarf Excadrill. I just don't like running those 2 moves with the Scarf Excadrill because normally Scarf Excadrill just runs Rapid Spin. So that leaves me with either Fortress or Donphan. Fortress doesn't scare Excadrill, which is why I'm gonna go with Donphan. Donphan can take the hit, and it may not be able to OHKO Excadrill, but it can do enough damage to where, you know, a Sucker Punch from Bisharp would kill the Excadrill, or at least force it out. And that way, you know, at that point, Sandrush Excadrill with +2 isn't as scary to my team. I just, at that point, I need to get damage on the Excadrill. And with the Sturdy, as long as, well, it won't be Mold Breaker if it's in the sand, so I'm not really worried about it, but if it's Mold Breaker and it has a few Swords Dance up, my team just loses. I mean, I can Intimidate Shuffle with Landorus and Manectric, you know, that would be my best bet. But there's a good chance that my team just loses. So with this Donphan set, as I said, I want Stealth Rocks and I want Rapid Spin. The last 2 moves is Earthquake Stab. And then this last move is up for preference. It's a preference slot. Typically you go Toxic, you go Ice Shard, you go Knockoff. Some people even run Play Rough. That way, as I said, my team is Mega Sableye weak. I can run Play Rough and hit that thing, but I don't really need Play Rough since Sylveon is there. A Mega Sableye doesn't do too much to Sylveon. Sylveon can Calm Mind up against Mega Sableye, so it's not too much of an issue. I'm just gonna give it Toxic. I could use Knockoff, but I don't really need it. I have 2 Pokemon with Knockoff already, in Bisharp and Landorus. So I'm just gonna go with Toxic, so that way I'm getting residual damage off on something. So basically, it's almost the same set as Hippowdon was. The only difference is it has Rapid Spin instead of Slack Off. So this is just going to be max HP, max defense, and the last 4 is into attack. So we just keep it really simple with the last 2 Pokemon. And then, you know, once again, like last time, we test out the team. We see how this team fares and how it works out for us. And that's the end of this video, guys. I should be doing another team test video, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, this is Link's Forte. I'm out. Peace.